Hey, this is Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist and 13-time world heavyweight champion. And you're watching Amplified TV. Oh, it's real. It's damn real.
UK tour starts in a few days. Which shows are you most looking forward to and why? Which city do you like performing in the most?
I love all of them. I mean, you know, Dublin, Glasgow, obviously Birmingham and Manchester are great. But London, you know, that's where the company and I decided to have my Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. You know, whether I was in WWE or here in TNA, it was always great to come to London, England. And it's how we gauge how our international TV has done or is doing is how well we do here. And the fans are always responsive. As a matter of fact, I just did an article about 2 weeks ago, my top 10 cities. And it was supposed to be just in the United States, but I had to throw London in the mix. And the writer asked me why. I said, until you go over, you have no idea.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the reason is, one, we're not here that often, so they only get to see us once a year. But the other reason is, you know, you come here, they really appreciate the Americans more than our own country. And, you know, obviously they have a lot of pride in they're Brits, you know. Magnus is our champion right now, and that's a great thing. But when it comes down to it, it seems like they're more hungry for the wrestling than any other country. Yeah.
Okay. And the cage match with Bobby Roode this past week at the Genesis was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
What was it like working with Bobby, and how do you think the match went?
The match couldn't have been any better for what it was. You know, we only had 14 minutes, so I would prefer a half hour. But, you know, when you're on TV and you only have so much time, there's only so much you can bring to the table. But I thought the match couldn't have been any better. Bobby Roode is one of the top 3 best today. I could compare him to anybody. So I knew the kind of match we would have. Right now, at this point in my career, I couldn't be any better than I am, and to have a guy like Bobby Roode in the ring with me in the cage, you're going to have a 5-star match. So it doesn't surprise me, but I was very happy with it.
And when you started out in TNA, you had the opportunity to perform in Japan at the Tokyo Dome. What are the Japanese fans like, and what are the shows like over there?
Well, let's go back to talking about the 10 best cities. I had to sneak a Tokyo in there too. So the 2 cities that I put in there were London and Tokyo out of the top 10. I had a match, had to be 5 years ago, against Yuji Nagata. And wow, talk about a great overall performer. He and I had the crowd in the palm of our hands. It was an amazing match. I'll never forget that. It was almost like a WrestleMania moment. And, you know, having a great crowd, and, you know, it's definitely a different crowd. They sit and study. They're not vocal, they're not clapping and going crazy, and they're more sit down, hands underneath their legs, and study the match. They respond at the right times, but they're not enthusiastic. They love wrestling. They love to study it. They love to watch it. So it's a different kind of respect, but I like it. I wrestled Brock over there. We won Match of the Year when we had that match. And Yuji Nagata, I'd say that was even a better match. So I've had a lot of success over there. I wrestled Tanahashi and a couple other wrestlers. I've been very blessed to go over there. And they have some great wrestlers. The Japanese have amazing wrestlers.
You mentioned Bobby Roode, but who do you think the future of TNA is?
Bobby Roode. You know what? I would throw James Storm in there. I'd also throw in Austin Aries. I like seeing guys like Robbie E., part of the Bromans. I'd like to see him teeter off on his own, have his own singles moment. I believe that he could be a great heel. There are a lot of talent there right now that I could throw in there. Chris Sabin, one of the best pure ring wrestlers I've seen in a while. There are a lot of guys I can throw in there that I could say are the future. The guys that I think they should utilize right now are guys that have not been used the right way, I don't believe, and that's Samoa Joe. That's a guy that could carry any company in the world. I have a lot of respect for him, and I've had some amazing matches with him. Love to see AJ Styles back, and obviously he's been the cornerstone of the company since he started. But there are guys like the tag team division. We got the new guys coming in from Ring of Honor. You look at Kaz and Christopher Daniels. I love those guys. I think they'll be great faces for the tag team division, to be the lead as far as the faces for the tag teams. But there are a lot of talent in that company. I mean, when you look at the Andersons and, you know, people that have come from WWE, and, you know, I know we're bringing in new talent this week that you don't even know who it is, but I'm sure you have an idea. So it looks very promising. But as far as the new faces, you got to go with Bobby Roode. He's the man.
Do a lot of the younger guys come up to you for advice on their matches?
Yeah. A lot of guys come to me for advice for matches. They want me to watch a match, study the match, pick it apart. I'm good at it. That's how I learned. I critiqued, and I did it on myself and on others, and to the point where I started structuring my own matches, and then started structuring other people's matches, and it just became a part of life for me. So I don't mind doing it. I know EC3, when he came in, he's had me watch every one of his matches, and most of them have been stomp matches. He's only 5 minutes long, but he wants to know what he's doing right and wrong. I respect that. Anybody that asks me to watch a match, I respect them for it, because they want to learn.
Okay, and the Royal Rumbles tonight, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to say Batista. Yeah, I think they're going to give him a title shot. Whether it be against Cena or Orton, I think that's the best thing for business. Batista's the man. Seeing him come back has raised some eyebrows just as much as Brock Lesnar did. And they're both great talents. So I'm excited to see what happens, but I would say Batista's going to win, and he'll probably wrestle. I'm going to guess Orton will win, and that'll probably be the main event at Mania.
While we're veering a little away from TNA, you obviously started your career on the back of your gold medal in Atlanta, and you've been quite involved with the campaign to save wrestling. How is that going?
Oh, awesome! Couldn't be any better. I wasn't that concerned about wrestling getting dropped as I was about what we had to do to make sure it never happened again. You have to remember that the IOC has strict rules, and they want every sport to show up at the meetings, and they want participation. Well, in the past, wrestling has not been that much involved with the IOC. They kind of beat of their own drum, kind of like track and field. They figured, hey, we're wrestling, the oldest sport in the world. Nobody's going to drop us. We don't have to listen to you. Well, yes, we did. And look what happened. We got dropped, and thank God we got picked back up. Now it's a matter of working with the IOC and making sure it never happens again. And whatever the IOC needs, we have to adjust to it. Everybody has a boss, and if you don't listen to your boss, you're going to get fired. And that's what happened to wrestling. It's too popular worldwide to get dropped. When you see other sports that are dying quickly, and I don't want to name them, but you wonder why wrestling was the one that got picked. Well, we're the one that didn't listen, but we're listening now, and we're going to make sure it never happens again.
Back to wrestling, pro wrestling. Your matches, they kind of have a reputation, I'd say, of even if you go out and do a 5-minute TV match, you're watching it and it could be part of a main event of a pay-per-view.
Thanks, man. Wow.
How do you,
You're too nice.
No, really. I mean, I'd say people say that. I say that when I'm watching the Kurt Angle. So, like, how do you go ahead and plan a match when you say, like, you only had 14 minutes for your cage match?
Man, that's hard. I did a lot of structuring for that match, and you know, Bobby and I didn't really put that match together until a couple hours before. And there were a lot of changes by the agent, and you know what we had to do, and Bobby and I sat down and we said, how can we get the most out of little time? And I hate to say little time, but when you have a cage match and you only have 14 minutes, 14 minutes sounds like a long time, but not in a cage. So we had to make enough time to sell everything that we did. In other words, when you hit a moonsault from the top of the cage, if you're not down for at least 1 minute, then there's something wrong. When you angle slam somebody from the top rope, if you're not down selling that move, then why'd you do it in the first place? So we had a lot of time for selling and very little time to do. So everything was kind of pieced together carefully so that the match meant something. So there was great psychology in the match, and we were able to pull it off in 14 minutes. Like I said, I'd rather have 30, especially with Bobby Roode. We were supposed to have an Ironman match, and that got canceled. So we ended up in a cage, and it sucks because the one person I want to have an Ironman match with is Bobby Roode. Right now, today, he's one of the best. Without a doubt, in my mind, he's one of the best. It doesn't matter if it's TNA or WWE, he's one of the best.
Well, maybe we might see that Ironman match in the...
I hope so. Bring it on, man. I'd love to face Bobby Roode or AJ Styles or Samoa Joe. Those three, I'd take all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, back to London and the UK. Tour's coming up this week. We're here in the Park Plaza in Westminster, and I don't know if you can, probably not on the camera, but right behind you is the Palace of Westminster. One of London's, famous sites.
Of course, yeah.
And you've had a press day today, so do you get any time on the tour to actually go and see anything?
No, TNA brings me over here to do media 14 hours a day, every day for 4 days, and then I fly directly to Dublin to do the house show. And then I have, what do we have? We got Glasgow Live TV, 3 more days of 6 TVs in a row, 2 TVs a day, and then a pay-per-view at the end. I don't think I'm on the pay-per-view, but everything else, I'm here. The last time I got to spend time here was in 2001 with Shane McMahon when I was in WWE, and we were over here for a week, and I had a blast. Since, we don't have, I'm either doing media or I'm at the arena, so it kind of sucks, but I love London, and it does suck that we don't get to spend much time, but my time is very valuable here. If I'm not doing media, then there's something wrong. I would love to stay here an extra week, but I have family at home. It's a nice view.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Where's Big Ben?
He's just there. There he is.
There it is. All right.
It's all right. The weather's terrible anyway.
Yeah, you should see where I live. It's even worse. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's true. It's quite cold at the moment.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Okay, so you said, let's go for the tour. There's the live TV in Glasgow, there's 6 shows and the pay-per-view. Is that quite an intense schedule compared to the US?
Yeah, the crazy thing is our guys are up to the challenge. They don't even bat an eye. The group of guys we have right now, nobody has an ego, nobody's sitting back saying I'm not doing it. They're more like, put me on TV. I'll prove what I can do. I'll have a 5-star. Put me on. Well, we can't. We don't have time for you to go on. Well, I'd like to go on. Guys are more eager to work. When there was a company, WCW, back in the day, WWE has always been good. Guys are always eager there. But there was a company, WCW, where guys were like, I'm not wrestling tonight, and they got kind of spoiled. You don't see that anymore. Guys are willing to work. They're willing to make their paycheck by working hard, and sometimes they work too hard for what they get paid. But that's where we are right now in the business. We have good guys that stay clean, that have great work ethic, and they want to be stars. And I think that's great.
Mm-hmm. You were listing the new talent, certainly at least in the TNA side of things. Like all of those guys are going to come to the UK and on those 6, 7, 8 TV shows that they're doing in 4 days,
yeah,
they're going to, throw it all out there.
Yeah, their guys are going to have double duty. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't, but I'm willing to work. The Bobby Roodes and the James Storms and the Samoa Joes, they'll do 3 TVs in one day. It's not a problem for them. All they have to do is warm up, get ready, and they're willing to work a half hour, a whole hour. It doesn't matter. The roster we have right now will do anything they're told to do, and I think it's awesome.
I remember a few years ago you had a match against AJ in London.
Loved it. One of my favorites.
Yeah, that was something special.
Yeah, when I talked about my favorite city to wrestle in London being one of them, that was the match I talked about. And I've never had a bad match with AJ. As a matter of fact, I've never had anything less than a 5-star match with AJ. And there's a reason for that. He's that good.
Phenomenal, you might say.
He's phenomenal. Yes, he is. Self-proclaimed phenomenal.